Hello, welcome to Lucy Talks, a safe space to talk. And today I'm interviewing Lucy, my wife, about her brain tumor experience that she had in the hopes that we would raise awareness of that subject and help other people.
Hello. Thank you for the introduction,
Yes,
sir.
you are a brain tumor survivor.
Yes.
Why don't we start with where you were at in your life when it happened? How old were you when you first started
I
experiencing symptoms?
symptoms. Well, symptoms I think were like about 2 years before I found out, which were probably I would say anywhere from like 13, 14,
13, 14 years
or
old.
14, 15.
You said
And
two
then
years before you found out what it
yeah,
actually was you
so
had been
so
experiencing.
16 I found out.
16, you found out. Okay, so symptoms started appearing 13, 14. What were those symptoms like?
Migraines, lots of migraines, and then it escalated to throwing up once a month, and it just wasn't normal. It wasn't a normal thing.
No.
And um then my eyes started getting kind of red, and I started swelling up, like my body, my cheeks, my it wasn't well, I wasn't growing. So I was like 4'11" for a long time. I wasn't developing, so it was keeping me from all of that. I mean, those were the symptoms, and I was wondering, like, why aren't I growing like all these other girls in
Mm.
my classroom? Why don't I have the voluptuous body? And so that was one of the reasons, because it was keeping me from growing.
Wow. And when did were you going to the doctors at this point when you were like feeling migraines, throwing up? Like, did you ever go and get checked out for anything?
No, no, no,
No.
no, because it could be a culture thing where it's like we had insurance, but like Tylenol will fix it, or like a medicine will fix it. So it wasn't like,
Like a Mexican culture thing where
yeah,
the
like you
doctors
just
is like
don't
a
go to the
last
doctor.
resort.
Yeah, it's the last resort. So I didn't go until when my younger sister, had an appointment on a Monday, and I was sick on a Sunday, and um thank goodness her doctor checked me too. My mom asked if I can get looked at, because at this point, I forgot to mention, my half of my brain was feeling kind of numb. So that was alarming to the doctor. So she's like, "Oh, what's going on? You're not having your period, and your half of your brain is numb."
And what
So
does that mean? Half of your brain felt numb.
so like my brain like felt numb, kind of like my head, my whole brain, my
Like you
yeah,
could touch it, not like the
and it
outside of
just
your
felt
head.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Huh. So what was your sister doing at the doctor's? I'm just
Well, she
curious.
had an appointment for to be honest, I
I was
don't
gonna say,
even know
what is
at
she
this
doing at the
point.
doctor's? And you're throwing up once a month, and you're not getting to go to the doctor's. Anyway, that's a separate
Well,
subject.
yeah, well, my mom just said, "Oh, well, she has an appointment, might as well her doctor look at you." So then the
Wow.
doctor said yes.
And so the doctor, like, kickstarted this process of
Yeah.
a series of tests. What was
Well,
it?
as soon as I said half of my brain felt numb, she's like, "Okay, MRI." I was like, "What the fuck is an MRI?" So, yeah, and yeah, that was when
And
I
what did
found out.
that reveal?
A brain tumor with liquid in there that wasn't draining properly. So it was a brain tumor the size of a golf ball with liquid that my brain couldn't drain as any other person's brain drains. Mine
Like
couldn't.
it was like like brain fluid building up, not being
Yes.
able to get to the rest of your body, which
Yes.
is why you weren't
I was
growing properly.
swollen. I was, yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't growing. My eyes were red. Like I was asked at home, like, are you doing drugs? Because my eyes were so red. Like, and of course not. I wasn't into drugs or any of that. But I mean, I definitely didn't feel normal, because my body started changing in the opposite way, and not the way I wanted it to change.
Right.
But I mean, it was all because of that.
Eh, Where were you when you heard the news, or how did you receive the news that you had a brain tumor?
Ugh, this is tough. Um, well, the results were taking forever. The doctor didn't want to say anything. My mom left to another room to cry. And I was like, "Where's my mom? Where's my mom? I want to know." And the doctor's like, "You have a brain tumor. An ambulance is coming for you." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Okay, but where's my mom?" And so I think she pointed at a room and my mom was like crying. And I just felt like a a presence that went inside my soul that was like, "You're going to be fine. Whatever it is, whether it's cancer, whether it's this, whether it's that, you're going to be fine." And so when I saw my mom, the first thing was like, "Mom, what do I have? Like, is it cancer? Is it not cancer?" She's like, "I don't know." And so I was like, "I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine." And I was like hugging her and kissing her. I was like, I promise I'm gonna be fine." And I was like over here trying to calm her down while like they were telling me an ambulance is coming for me.
So you had a like this feeling or this voice that you heard that told you you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And did you cry in that moment?
No, I was holding back my tears
You were
because I
holding it
saw my
back.
mom like very sad, and then I'm not sure if I got to see my sister. I think my sister was at this point with my father, but they were both outside when the ambulance came for me. And so my sister said that she had the worst feeling seeing me like get in the ambulance, and then the ambulance taking me to LA to a bigger hospital. Yeah.
And what did they tell you that they were going to do? Why were they immediately taking you to the
Surgery.
hospital? Surgery
Surgery, yeah.
to remove it.
Well, they weren't giving me much information, but a biopsy at this point. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get put into an ambulance,
Mm-hmm.
taken to a bigger hospital.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next? At this
I
point,
what
is your mom letting everybody else in the
Yeah,
family know, and the
everybody,
word is going
yeah.
around?
So they're like talking to me on the phone. "You're gonna be okay. I love you." Blah blah blah. Um, the typical stuff. And like at this point, you don't really know what the hell is going on, if you're gonna survive, if you're not, all these things. But there was something inside me that said, "You know what? I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine." So I was eventually fine. Here I am,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was
But yeah.
there any sort of relief in having an answer to what you've been feeling the past like 2 years?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, at least I have an
yeah. At least I
answer.
know
I'm not
why.
crazy for
At
feeling
least
all
I
this stuff.
know why I don't have boobies. Like, yeah, like why I'm 4'11" and I'm 16 years old.
So that you found out that tumor was preventing you from going through puberty and all
Yeah,
that. Wow. Okay. So, but back in the hospital, you get wheeled into this room, right? And they're telling you surgery is how long away? A couple hours, or what's happening?
I don't remember, but I think everything was pretty quick,
Wow.
pretty quick, and
Wow. You
yeah,
did you so you go from the doctor's office to the hospital.
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, to
And then
get
you go
surgery.
through surgery pretty soon, like maybe
Yeah,
the same day, the next day.
no, the same day.
Same
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
What do you remember right before the surgery? Assuming they're putting you out to sleep. Do they tell you what they're gonna do? Like,
Well, I was nervous. I was nervous. They just told me they're gonna biopsy, and so I didn't know what that meant at that time. So when I came out of surgery, I thought that they removed whatever it was, like the whole thing. And no, they didn't. A biopsy is just like they open a little spot and then they take out liquid or whatever, and they were able to tell if it was cancer or not, and it wasn't. So um, that was part of that. But now they had an idea of what they can do or how they can go in. So yeah, they did a couple surgeries after that.
so it was a couple surgeries. So
Yeah,
the first surgery was just to figure out what it was.
yeah,
You wake up from the surgery, realize they just took a little bit so they can test it.
yeah.
How are you feeling?
Nauseous, the typical stuff. It was very fast surgery. I think it was. I don't even remember now. Um, but I noticed that shortly after I started kind of growing, but I knew that like size wise, I started growing. But I knew that another surgery was coming because I mean they have to tackle the big one.
Yeah.
So I was like I was nervous for it, but eventually it had to happen.
Yeah. How much
And
time in between the first surgery and the second one was there?
I don't remember.
Like a
I
couple
could.
months or weeks?
Mhm. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That part of your life, that period was so,
Everything was. It's because it was like back to back surgeries.
yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember they went in for that one. It was about 8 hours, and they removed some of it, and then maybe like a couple months later, or that year later, it grew back. Whatever they took out grew back. So then they're like, that's not good. So then they had to go back again and take out another chunk, and then after they took out another chunk, they're like, "Oh, it looks like we can do radiation therapy." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So then they explained what radiation therapy was and um what it could help with and all of that, and I agreed to it. But there was there could be complications like within 10 years. But I was like, I'd rather get rid of whatever I have now and then worry about what I have to worry about in 10 years.
What were those complications?
Well, like it could be cancer or just by this point I forgot. Like it's been a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. But it puts your body through a lot.
Yeah. So I was like, it was either that or I don't have that and it continues to grow each time they go in there. I don't
Mm.
really know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they removed it that second time, but knowing that it grew back, they were thinking radiation is a way to maybe keep it from growing back long term.
Yeah.
And so you agreed to do it. And at this point, how are you feeling like before you start the radiation, but just having gone through a couple of these surgeries, how are you feeling like day to day? Do you have energy? Do you start to grow and
Yeah.
develop?
Well, before the radiation, I had like another surgery. I think I had a couple of them, but I don't remember the order of it. But because I had lots of liquid that wasn't draining properly, they had to put a VP shunt in my head. So it's on top of my skull, but there's a tube that goes within my brain, and then it's inside my body here, and then down to my stomach, and then it drains there.
Hmm.
So I had to get that procedure done as well.
So that was a separate, and that's the appointment that we go to, or that I started going with you to once a year, where they check your shunt.
Well, they check my whole brain in general,
Right, right,
but because my shunt has magnets in there, the MRI is a magnet machine, so it kind of moves the magnet inside my shunt. It
Wh-
spins it around, and so they have to adjust it properly, so
right,
I won't be throwing up or
right.
just
Does that magnet like it's like a dial? It kind of regulates how much liquid
is flowing.
is flowing.
Yeah,
So that's what your maintenance is like now. But
yeah,
back then, when you got the procedure in the shunt
hmm,
in, it's to properly carry brain fluid to the rest of your body.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That one was a tough one because apparently they had put something in there that helped it, but for whatever reason, it stopped working, and so that's why I had to get that shunt, the permanent shunt.
They put something else in there that didn't work.
I guess something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But wow. And
yeah.
each
I
time,
almost died at that one. I feel.
what?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because I was like the it was very hard.
Whatever they put in you did not work. And did they send you home? And and then you found out it didn't
No,
work, or you didn't feel
no,
right, or
no. I just the way they explained it was that they had put something in there to help with the fluid, but I guess that little tube or whatever got disconnected, and so then I started getting symptoms, and those symptoms were the worst, and I wasn't responding anymore. My sister was like, "This is not normal. We have to take her." So they had to carry me out of the house to take me to the hospital because I was just like this. I wasn't moving. I wasn't really responding. They were talking to me. They're like, "What's your name? What's your name?" And I remember like the nurse getting, or the doctor, I don't know who he was, and he was like getting nervous because I wasn't responding to whatever he was telling me. I can see him and hear, but I couldn't speak. So right away they sent me to surgery, and they put the VP shunt. And so then the shunt has been helping me with the liquid properly. And yeah,
So I remember that when we,
because I remember the doctor told Erica told me, my sister, my older sister, he was like, if you wouldn't have brought her, she would have died. Yeah.
well, I remember when we first started dating, and after you moved in to the apartment, your sister had asked you if I knew to look for symptoms in case that ever happened again. And
Yeah.
that's what she was talking
I
about.
think
Where,
she was traumatized.
well, yeah, for your sibling, and to be, it sounded like slowly fading away.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and just to zoom out for a second, in this period, you're still a girl in high school,
Yes.
like trying to just
Fit in.
fit in and finish as best you can. And so
Yeah.
this is all going on while you're in high school. But
Yeah.
your high school life is getting interrupted by surgeries every so often to treat your brain tumor
Yes.
and to fit you with whatever you need to live a normal life. So this is
Yes.
all going on. Okay,
Yeah.
so
But I
then
also had homeschool, so that helped out a lot.
yeah,
Because while I was recuperating, I had a teacher who would come to my house and would teach me. Yeah,
yeah, probably
which was
yeah,
great.
which is yeah, huge
Yeah.
for you to have that routine. Now back to you agree to do radiation.
Yes.
And so then what does that entail? Is this like a daily or a couple times a week where you're going into the doctor's office? What does that look like?
That was 5 times a no, 5 times a week. No, wait, is that? Yeah.
Yeah,
5 times a week for a month.
5 times a week. And what I
So
had a
like Monday through Friday for a whole month.
Monday through
And it
Friday.
ended on one of my birthdays.
The last day of
Yeah,
radiation was,
yeah.
well, that's a nice birthday gift.
Yeah.
One of my, we talked about this. One of my good friends dealt with a brain tumor at one point, and it grew back years later. And they did radiation,
Mhm.
and he said that it just exhausted his body. Like not the first or the second one, but just doing it every day, just like zaps you completely of energy. How
It
did you
does.
feel?
It totally took over my body, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't think uh it's as worse as, let's say, chemo or anything like that. I'm not saying like that it's like that. Um I was just very grateful to get that treatment, and it was very tiring. I got very hungry. So those were one of the things. Either you gain weight or you lose weight. And then I started losing some hair, and I had a lot of bald spots, but I have so much hair that you couldn't tell that my hair was falling. I had so many bald spots in the back and all around that if I held my hair up like this, you can start to see all the empty spots.
Mm.
So I always had it down. I was kind of like sad when I would shower and a bunch of hair would fall off, and I'm like, ugh. And it got to a point where my skull was feeling very burnt because they're lasers that are shooting at your head to target that spot. So, um, showering and scratching my head would feel very burnt. It was tough. Um, I was tired all the time, depressed. Yeah, it was tough.
What are those appointments like? Are you like, is it like an MRI kind of machine, like that you're laying down? Like,
Well,
what are you in? It, yeah.
um, just a room,
Just a
and
room.
there's a bed, and then that bed you lay down, and they had a mask done specially for me, the size of my face. They molded it, and so they would lay me down, and then they will nail it down on the sides, and so that was just so I wouldn't move. And so they'd have me there for, it's been a long time, but maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes, I'm not sure. And that machine would move around except for me.
Right.
And so then there would be a bunch of lasers everywhere.
And that's
Mhm.
every day for 5 days for a
Yeah.
month.
Uh-huh. And I was so grateful that my parents would take me. My father was there, my mother was there. Yeah.
When the end of the month approaches, you're done with radiation. It's your birthday. What do they tell you? Like, now is it just focus on recovery and you get a yearly check and you should be good? Like, what do they send you off saying?
Well, every week they would like check up on me, make sure like how are my symptoms, are they progressing, are they lessening, all these things. And um yeah, after they said kind of let the thing do what it's got to do. It's still gonna be in my body for a while. So I would get checkups after that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And how are you feeling after all this?
I feel great.
Yeah. I mean, like
Yes.
back then, like, like how are you? Like a sense of relief, a sense of like you're ready to move on with your life. Like, how are you? How are you feeling?
Well, I've been moving on with my life. I mean, I married you.
I mean, back then when you finished the radiation, like,
Oh.
how are you feeling?
um,
I mean, you didn't know that, you had this beautiful future ahead and a family and all
of
this, but back
course.
then you're just a girl getting now close to graduating high school. And how are you feeling? Because it was about a 2 year experience of symptoms to surgeries and treatment. Was that about 2 years total?
I don't even know. I lost count by this time.
Yeah.
But I was just happy that it wasn't bad news after bad news after bad news. It was kind of like a long break, and it's been like that ever since.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And how about the people in your life? Like, what did you learn about the people that were close to you, that you were going through this, your family, people that really stepped up to help take care of you?
Well, of course, my family, my mother and my father and my siblings, a lot of faith, have a
Mm.
lot of faith, and just the knowing of it's gonna be okay, and you have a lot of people around that love you. So
Mm.
that kind of kept me strong is my family and my close friends and their support. Yeah.
You're someone who always takes care of other people.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah, very much. And back then, did you find yourself still taking care of other people? Taking care of other people's feelings while you were going through that whole ordeal, kind of like what you're talking about when your mom was crying and you were telling her you were going to be okay. Did you do that throughout your experience where you found yourself helping other people's
Oh,
feelings?
yeah, definitely. Because
Really?
people would come to me with a sad face, like, how are you feeling? And
Yeah.
this and that. And so I had to like put on a face, and they'd be like, oh, you don't even look sick. And I'm
Oh
like, I
gosh.
know, like, I'm great. I'm living my best life, and I'm getting surgery next week, and la, 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 la. But I mean, you know, I just, I feel like I had to be, and my name is Light, but I had to be a light for them.
That's true. We should say your name Lucy, your real name
Is light,
is
loose.
Luce, which
Uh-huh.
means light.
Light.
And
Yeah.
so that's you.
So I felt like I had to give a lot of that to them.
Yeah.
Of course, and they had to give me that as well. But
Yeah.
there was times where I had to
Were
do
there
that.
things that people said to you that you didn't like, and then things that people said to you that you did like? Like, for example, say, "Hey, you don't even look sick." It's like, I just know that when people are going through hardships like that, some people don't know what to say and they say the wrong thing. Did you get people telling you something that you were just tired of hearing?
Well, I don't. To be honest, I don't remember if I was tired of hearing that, but it kind of, in some ways, gave me hope because it's like, okay, if I look fine from the outside, like soon I'll feel okay on the inside.
Mm,
So I just didn't really see it as a bad thing.
mm.
Or
Yeah.
maybe I did at the time, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And did you ever, at any point in that process, think that maybe you won't make it through? Or did you always, I know there was that scare that your sisters had with you that when they took you in when something was not working right. But did you ever kind of lose faith or did you always feel like you were pretty optimistic?
I feel that I was very optimistic, but I did have like a spiritual, um, how would you say that? Uh, I guess you can say that's when I got like super, very spiritual because of faith, of course, and so many people were praying for me. And I just on one of those surgeries, I had a very unique experience where I saw my body. And so this is when I think I was like probably dying. And I saw my body and I saw doctors working on me. There was nurses around. Um, and I went to a different place that was not a room anymore. And I felt the presence of God. And he was speaking to me. And he was a feeling of a man. It was a feeling of a male and a fatherly figure. And he was just energy. He was energy, full of unconditional love. And I was like, wow, this is a great place. It's so pretty. It's like, I feel so safe. I feel loved. I feel warm. Like, this is great. And I just saw like they were working on me. And and he was like, okay, you got to go back now. And I was like, no, 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 no. I want to stay here. He's like, no, you have to go back. And I said, 5 more minutes, just 5 more minutes. And he said, okay. But then as soon as he said, okay, I went back to my body. And then I woke up and I was like, what? Like, this really happened. And so thank goodness I was able to talk and everything. But I right away told my mom and my sibling, well, my sisters, and because I know they're believers as well. So I was like, I was with God. I was, having a great time, and He was loving on me, and I was loving on Him, and I saw my body, da da da. And they're like, Lucy, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. I was like, and so I guess you can say, back to your question, did I ever feel like I wasn't gonna make it? Um, Maybe just a little bit, but there was more optimism, more hope, more like you're gonna be okay than the not okay. Like if that made any sense.
Yeah. Wow. So your own relationship with God, higher power, only increased from this experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
hmm
Wow.
I knew that he loved me enough to keep me. So like, I didn't at the time I didn't understand why I came back. Right. Um, and recuperation and all that stuff and um it was tough. It was a tough time. So I didn't understand and I would ask myself sometimes like why did I come back? But then I realize now and I'm married to you and we have a beautiful daughter and we have a beautiful life and I'm like this is what I was meant to be here for. This was what I was meant to feel and see and experience and it kind of takes me back to the knowing of when I found out that I had a tumor, that everything was going to be okay. Even though I went through all of that, I was going to be okay. And I am okay. I'm great. We're great. Like we have a great life. And I think he wanted me to experience that
Yeah.
because there's so many people that don't get to experience those things and they don't make it, and he gave me the chance to. So, yeah.
Mm. And they told you that with the shunt, which is something that you still have to this day, as we
Yes.
talked about, that you'll live normal life and you'll be able to have kids and you'll be able to do everything. And it turned out, of course, that that's true. And you gave birth to our daughter almost 3 years ago,
Mhm.
right? And it was, you know, tough as it, of course, was, but a beautiful experience, and everything was went normally, and that's just in a tribute to those doctors and who helped you and said, "Yep, you'll be able to live a normal life. You can do everything with
Mhm.
this." That's it's just like it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the doctor who fun fact, it's so dumb, huh?
No, that's fine.
Well, the doctor that did my radiation therapy, he uh he came into my job one day and then I worked with him and I was like, "Hold up. I know you." I was like, "You were my doctor." He's like, "No, I only do like kids, like." Well, I was like, "I was a teenager back then." And he's like, "Oh, were you with the one with the weird last name?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I remember your father." Da, da, da." I was like, "Yeah, he had a great memory." I was like, "Damn, this was a long time ago." And I was like, "Yeah, thank you for saving my life." Like
Oh.
that's so amazing. So I got to work with him, and he got to work with me. Before I got,
did he
yeah.
did he tip well?
I don't remember.
Thanks for saving my life, and it's like you better leave a good tip.
I don't remember, but he was great. It doesn't matter. He saved my life. Like I don't care about a damn tip.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
and that must have blew his mind.
Yeah, he was so happy that he brought in his wife. Yeah.
Oh, since then, obviously, you've lived a life on your own terms. You've lived a normal
I went
life.
wild. I went wild because before I used to be a very quiet, shy girl. And
Yeah.
then after all of that experience, I just kind of started wilding out and became a rebel. But I think it's like maybe I didn't get to be a rebel in my teenage years because I was so sick. I didn't get to do the things that teenagers would do. And maybe I would in some things, but I guess I wasn't that much of a rebel, or maybe I was, but I don't, and so I kind of rebelled a little bit later
You
in life.
needed it.
I needed it. I was a little late. I was a late bloomer.
Well, yeah, but so was I. For
In what way?
for
You got
different
your period?
reasons. No, for
Uh,
different reasons.
uh,
But sometimes it just is. Not everyone has all the experiences in high school for a variety of reasons. But that was something that we talked about.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
also got a trip out of it. My my homeschool teacher was like, "You should sign up for Make a Wish Foundation," and I was like, "No, that's only for kids with cancer." And then she was like, "No, it's with kids like you who also have life threatening conditions." I was like, "What? Sign me up!"
that's
So
me. Yeah.
that's me. And so yeah, we called. We did all the paperwork that needed to be done, and I got approved. And I went on a trip to the Bahamas, and it was all taken care of, and I took my sisters and my mom, and we had a great time.
That's incredible. And you
Yeah.
also got to take part in the a float,
The
the Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl, yeah.
Yeah.
What year was that? 2010 maybe?
Yeah.
I don't
And that
even
was
know. It's
around
been
that time because of your experience.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
and when you took part in the parade, where were you in your recovery? Were you done with radiation by then, or were you? Do you
Yes, I
remember?
was done with radiation.
Yeah.
I
So
believe
kind of
so.
on the path to
You
getting
know
your.
what? I don't even know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so mixed. Everything happened so fast, but it felt so slow at the same time.
Hmm.
And it felt like nothing was ever going to get fixed, but then finally it got fixed. And yeah, but yeah, I got to experience that too. And it was nice. Our float won something. We won something. I
Best
don't know.
float.
The Kaiser float.
the
Yeah.
Kaiser Permanente
Yeah. I
float.
was the, was it a caterpillar?
Yeah, I
A
think it was.
caterpillar
I've
was
seen
like a little
the photos
explorer.
you've shown
Yeah.
me.
I look like Dora the Explorer.
What kind of advice do you have for people that are going through a similar experience or know someone who's going through a similar experience?
Well, if anyone is going through any type of sickness, no matter what it is, know that you're not alone. There's always people that love you and support you and praying for you, even if it's just the thought of, I hope that person's okay. That goes a long way. And so just don't lose hope.